right, metamorphic rocks. We're going to go through the whole metamorphic rocks lab here. The first question you have to ask yourself is it foliated or is it non-foliated? Foliated means having bands or kind of a layered sort of a structure. They'll look a little shimmery, a little shiny as we go. And non-foliated means that it wasn't. Usually this is regional metamorphism. This is oftentimes contact metamorphism. But it doesn't have to be. So let's start with number one. You're putting these answers, by the way, on this side right here. Textures are going to be either foliated or non-foliated. Okay, find me number one. Okay, you guys can rock hand. Number one is lots of colors. Don't focus on the colors so much as the bands. See those big bands in there? When I've got it on that angle, so you don't see it as much, but I've got it on this angle. You can see the banding in there. This would be a foliated rock. Foliated. If we look down here, this is some pretty extreme banding. Okay, pretty extreme banding here. We're talking about a gneiss. So this first one here is a gneiss, G-N-E-I-S-S. Everybody get that? That's an easy one. Set that one aside there. Number two, perfect. Look at a couple colors. Number two, I don't see any banding in here at all. This is non-foliated. It's really pretty. Got some pink ones, you got some white ones. This one, if I hit it with some acid, should fizz pretty, oops, if I get underneath there, should fizz pretty good. Can you even hear that? Oh, I'm dripping everywhere. Let's look at the protolith. So the name of this one's what? Marble. This is marble. And those of you guys that are watching here, this is limestone. Look at how similar in some ways it looks. If you squish and cook limestone, if you heat it up, you get this beautiful rock called marble that we carve and make statues out of. Right. Okay, that was number two. Number three. Oh yeah. Number three. Number three is a little bit heavier than the other stuff we played with. It's very dark. It's a non-foliated metamorphic rock. This is made up of organic plant matter. So this, of course, is a type of coal. Ouch. It's really hard coal called anthracite, anthracitic coal. Let's look at the difference here. Here's some bituminous coal. You can see it's actually got layers. If you keep cooking and heating this, you end up with this much shinier, much harder material called anthracitic coal. All right, anthracitic coal. That was number three. Number four. Oh yeah, that's nice. Number four. Now we're seeing some schistosity here. So definitely foliated. There's like actually layers in there. You can see that shimmery look. Those are all the micas in there. And the dead giveaway on this one is if you look close, these darker patches, those are actually garnets. You can see them really well on this one. Those garnets are kind of the giveaway there. So what we've got here is a piece of schist. Okay, it's a garnet schist. It's a foliated rock. Everybody get that for number four? Okay, number five. Number five. It's foliated. See how flat it is here? Okay. This is slate. And slate comes from a rock called shale, which is much softer than this stuff. This is what we make blackboards out of. We used to anyway. Pool tables are still made out of it, expensive ones. It's a lot, you can hear it ring, it's a lot harder. This is slate. It's a foliated metamorphic rock. We'll keep a piece of that. Okay, number six. Number six. Looks a lot like the schist, only maybe not quite as reflective. So it's a little more metamorphosed than the shale or the slate. Okay. This is a rock known as Philite. Yeah. So it's kind of shimmery looking. If you guys haven't seen it yet, come take a look. This is Philite. Let's save a piece of that over here. That one. Making my sequence. Right, I'll take that one. Okay, that was number 6. This is number 7. Number 7 is non-foliated. Okay, non-foliated. It's got a sort of salt and peppery look to it. There's a little shimmery going on in there. So you see some micas in there. This is a rock known as Amphibolite. And I didn't grab its protolith, which would have been a basalt or a gabbro. I don't have it out. But if you cook that a bit, you get this stuff called Amphibolite. Some students found this down in the creek. Number 8. Number 8 is this rock right here. Number 8 is on non-foliated. I don't see any banding in there or any schistosity. It's very hard stuff. I could totally scratch glass with this, no problemo. It doesn't fizz. This is a piece of quartzite. So let's see if we can see this with the phone and the hand lens. I don't know if this is going to be possible. We can't do this. I thought maybe I could do it. I think it's going to be beyond my skills. Yeah. Anyway, if you could look in here at this, maybe we can just get close enough with the camera itself. You can see that it's made up of, that's pretty good, tiny little pieces of sand have been partially melted together. So its protolith was sandstone. You can see the sand grains, the clasts in this stuff. This is that kind of purified and melted together. So this is quartzite. Since sand's mostly quartz, you get quartzite. All right, that was number 8. The last one is number 9. Thank you. Ooh, perfect. This is a beautiful green looking rock. It's got a little bit of schistosity to it. If you see greens and blacks in a rock, that thing came from deep within the earth. So this is a piece of serpentonite, and it is a beautiful stone. You can make awesome jewelry out of it. Look at that. Really pretty looking stuff. Okay. It's got a little bit of foliation. It kind of reflects light a little bit like that. That's the way its luster looks. So this is serpentonite. Okay. Some mantle material here. So we've gone through all of the rocks. Let's look at the metamorphic sequence here. And get that to focus again. There we go. So let's do this sequence. Starting from shale, if you heat and cook shale, you get a slate. If you heat and cook slate, you get a philite. If you heat and cook philite, you get a schist. Heat and cook schist, you get a gneiss. So it's a sequence of increasing metamorphism. Let's kind of lay it out here. I've got it. I can do this carefully. This is shale. It would metamorphose into a harder slate, which would metamorphose into a more schistose looking philite, okay, which would continue to metamorphose into a much more reflective, shiny, shimmery looking schist. Sometimes has garnets in it. I'm trouble focusing here. There we go. So there's the schist from the philite. And if we keep metamorphosing it, we'll end up with a gneiss. So that's the whole sequence right there, all together. There we go. Okay, you've got enough information to do your quiz.